If you ask most people how to prevent brittle bones, you'll get a familiar answer. Just take more calcium. It's a message repeated by doctors, health magazines, and supplement ads everywhere. Rows of large white calcium tablets line pharmacy shelves, promising to keep your skeleton strong and resistant to the silent thief of osteoporosis. But what if that advice, when followed without a second thought, could actually be putting your bones and your health at risk? The truth is, osteoporosis is a silent epidemic. It creeps up quietly, often without symptoms, until one day a minor fall or a simple twist leads to a devastating fracture. Every year, millions of older adults experience broken hips, wrists, or vertebrae injuries that can change lives in an instant. No wonder so many people reach for the nearest calcium supplement in hopes of strengthening their bones. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Taking calcium the wrong way may not only fail to protect your bones, it can even increase your risk of other serious problems, like kidney stones or dangerous calcium deposits in your arteries. According to Dr. Andrew Weil, a world-renowned expert in integrative medicine, the more is better approach to calcium simply doesn't work. In fact, it may do more harm than good if you're not paying attention to the details. Why? Because bone health isn't just about how much calcium you swallow. It's about how well your body absorbs and uses that calcium. It's about synergy, how calcium interacts with other nutrients, how it's directed to your bones, not your blood vessels, and how your daily habits help or hinder the process. Are you getting your calcium from real food, or are you relying on pills? Do you have enough vitamin D and K2 to help calcium reach its target? Is your body moving enough each day to keep your bones strong and responsive? These are the questions that really matter. In the pages ahead, we'll reveal the 3 foods Dr. Weil recommends for safe, effective bone building. We'll explore why calcium from sardines and leafy greens may do more for your skeleton than any supplement, and show you the overlooked vitamins and habits that turn ordinary calcium into a powerful tool for lifelong strength. If you or someone you love cares about staying active and independent, this could be the most important health myth you bust this year. Are you taking calcium the wrong way? What if I told you that the way most people take calcium could actually weaken their bones? Osteoporosis, often called the silent thief, affects 1 in 3 adults over 60. And the scary part is, many don't even know they have it until they suffer a painful fracture. We're talking about a broken hip from just stepping off the curb, or a collapsed vertebra after simply reaching for something on a shelf. By then, it's often too late to fully recover. And what's the most common advice people get when they worry about bone loss? Take more calcium. So they buy the big white tablets. They pop them every morning with their orange juice. They follow what the label says. But here's the part most people miss. Dr. Andrew Weil, a renowned pioneer in integrative medicine, says that this widespread approach may not only be ineffective, it could be dangerous. According to Dr. Weil, it's not just about how much calcium you take, but how you take it, where your body sends it, and what nutrients and habits support its journey into your bones. In this video, we're going to show you the 3 powerful, natural foods Dr. Weil recommends for restoring bone strength safely and effectively. Why getting calcium from food may be far more protective than relying on supplements. The key vitamins that most people overlook that help calcium actually stick to your bones. And what daily habits beyond just eating can make the difference between strong bones or brittle fractures as you age. If you or someone you love is over 50, This may be one of the most important health tips they'll hear this year. Let's start with the first calcium-rich food, and why it might be hiding in a tin can in your pantry right now. The tiny fish that builds big bones. If you grew up thinking that strong bones come only from drinking milk, this next food might surprise you. Because one of the most calcium-dense foods on the planet isn't dairy at all. It's a little fish that comes in a can. We're talking about sardines and canned salmon with bones. Now, before you wrinkle your nose, hear this. A single can of sardines contains more calcium than a glass of milk. Why? Because it includes the soft, edible bones of the fish, which are packed with natural, absorbable calcium. Just 3 ounces of canned sardines delivers around 350 milligrams of calcium, along with a healthy dose of vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients work together like a construction crew. Vitamin D helps your body absorb the calcium, and omega-3s reduce inflammation that can lead to bone breakdown. Canned salmon with bones is another all-star. A typical serving provides around 240 milligrams of calcium, plus heart-healthy fats and high-quality protein. It's also easier on the stomach than dairy for many older adults who are lactose intolerant. But here's what most people don't realize when calcium comes from whole foods, like fish. It's delivered in a natural complex with cofactors, tiny nutrients that help your body absorb and use it properly. That's something no synthetic tablet can fully replicate. Dr. Well emphasizes this point in his lectures. Whole food sources of calcium are safer and more effective. They come with built-in synergy that helps your bones get stronger, without the risks of calcification in arteries or kidney stones, which can happen with excessive supplements. So how can you add these foods to your routine? Mix sardines with a bit of mustard or olive oil and spread on whole grain toast. Add canned salmon to salads or rice bowls. Stir into pasta with garlic, lemon, and fresh herbs for a savory twist. And if the taste puts you off at first, try starting small. Just a few bites a couple times a week can still make a noticeable difference. What's important is that you're feeding your bones a form of calcium they recognize, and nutrients they can actually use. No pills. No side effects. Just nature's original recipe for strong, healthy bones. Coming up next, a green, leafy powerhouse that builds bones better than milk, especially for women over 50. The green giant for bone strength milk may have the advertising budget, but when it comes to plant-based powerhouses for your bones, dark, leafy greens are the unsung heroes. Let's take collard greens, kale, and bok choy. Just a few examples of vegetables that pack a surprising amount of absorbable calcium. In fact, a cup of cooked collard greens contains around 230 milligrams of calcium, nearly a quarter of your daily needs. But here's the part that often gets overlooked. These greens don't just deliver calcium. They're rich in vitamin K, magnesium, and plant-based antioxidants, all of which are critical for bone formation and protection. Vitamin K, in particular, plays a key role in activating osteocalcin, a protein that binds calcium to bone tissue. Dr. Andrew Weil has long emphasized the importance of these greens, especially for women after menopause. He notes, many women stop absorbing calcium efficiently as they age, especially if they've been prescribed acid blockers. Leafy greens help fill in that nutritional gap and provide much more than just minerals. What's also remarkable is that many of these vegetables are low in oxalates, natural compounds that can interfere with calcium absorption. Unlike spinach, which has high oxalate levels. Bok choy and kale are bioavailable. meaning your body can absorb and use their calcium effectively. Here's a real-world story that proves the point. One 82-year-old woman in rural Vietnam, who had never taken calcium supplements in her life, was found to have bone density equivalent to a woman 30 years younger. Her secret: a daily diet filled with mustard greens, fish broth, and sun exposure. No dairy, no pills. So how can you bring these bone-loving greens into your daily meals? Sauté kale or collard greens quickly in olive oil with garlic. Add bok choy to soups or stir-fries. Blend spinach or mustard greens into smoothies with banana and almond milk. Steam and toss them with sesame seeds and a splash of tamari. And remember, bones aren't just about one mineral. They need a team of nutrients, and leafy greens provide that team. This is why cultures around the world that eat lots of greens, like the Mediterranean or Okinawan diets, often have lower fracture rates than those who rely heavily on dairy or supplements alone. Coming up next, a silky, calcium-rich plant food that may surprise you, and why it's especially helpful for postmenopausal women. The plant protein that strengthens bones. If you're looking for a bone-building food that's smooth, versatile, and surprisingly powerful, look no further than tofu. Tofu, also known as bean curd, is made from soybeans and is especially rich in calcium when prepared with calcium salts like calcium sulfate. In fact, just half a cup of firm tofu made this way can deliver up to 861 milligrams of calcium, over 80% of the recommended daily intake for adults. And that's not all. Soy-based foods like tofu and fortified soy milk also contain isoflavones, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. For postmenopausal women, who often lose bone mass due to declining estrogen, this natural support can be incredibly helpful. Dr. Andrew Weil often recommends tofu as part of a balanced, anti-inflammatory diet. He explains, tofu isn't just a meat substitute. It's a mineral-dense, hormone-friendly food that helps build strong bones and provides clean protein without the saturated fat of animal products. Here's what makes it stand out. Tofu provides complete protein, which supports muscle strength, key for preventing falls and fractures. It's lactose-free, making it ideal for people who can't tolerate dairy. When fortified, soy milk can offer the same calcium content as cow's milk, around 300 milligrams per cup, but with fewer inflammatory compounds and zero cholesterol. But there's a catch. Not all tofu is created equal. If you're buying tofu for its calcium benefits, check the label. Look for calcium sulfate in the ingredients. If it lists magnesium chloride instead, the calcium content may be much lower. For soy milk, make sure it's labeled calcium fortified, and ideally, unsweetened to avoid added sugars. So how can you use tofu in bone-building meals? Scramble it with turmeric and vegetables for a protein-packed breakfast. Add cubed tofu to stir-fries or noodle soups. Blend silken tofu into smoothies or puddings for a creamy texture. Use fortified soy milk in oatmeal, coffee, or baking as a dairy alternative. And if you're concerned about soy and hormones, numerous studies have shown that moderate soy intake is safe, even beneficial for most people, including women with a history of hormone-sensitive conditions. The bottom line: tofu and soy milk are more than just plant-based protein. They're bone builders that deliver serious calcium without the side effects of supplements or dairy. Now that you know the top 3 foods Dr. Will recommends, it's time to understand how your body actually absorbs and uses that calcium, and the 2 vitamins that make or break the process. The 2 vitamins that make calcium work. You could eat all the calcium in the world, But if your body doesn't know where to send it, or how to use it, your bones won't get stronger. In fact, the calcium could end up in dangerous places, like your arteries or kidneys. That's where vitamin D and vitamin K2 come in. They're the unsung heroes of bone health, and without them, calcium is like a delivery truck with no GPS. Let's start with vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D helps your intestines absorb calcium from the food you eat. Without enough D, even the richest calcium sources may pass through your body unused. Many adults, especially those over 50, are deficient in vitamin D, and they don't even know it. Symptoms are subtle fatigue, muscle aches, bone pain. But over time, low vitamin D leads to weaker bones and higher fracture risk. The good news: just 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight per day on your arms and face can help your body make all the vitamin D it needs. If you live in a cloudy area or stay mostly indoors, look for foods like salmon, egg yolks, mushrooms, or vitamin D fortified milk and cereals. And now, let's talk about vitamin K2, the nutrient most people have never heard of, but desperately need. Vitamin K2's job is simple, but critical. It tells calcium where to go. It activates a special protein called osteocalcin, which binds calcium into the bone matrix. At the same time, K2 prevents calcium from depositing in soft tissues like arteries, where it can cause serious problems. Dr. Weil and other integrative physicians now emphasize K2 as a missing link in calcium therapy. Without it, even high calcium and vitamin D levels may not improve bone density, and may actually raise cardiovascular risk. So where do you get it? Natto, a fermented soybean food, is the richest source, but its strong flavor isn't for everyone. Hard cheeses like Gouda and Brie contain modest amounts of K2. Egg yolks, grass-fed butter, and pasture-raised meats also offer some. Unfortunately, most modern diets are low in K2. That's why some people choose to supplement with MK7, a highly bioavailable form of vitamin K2, especially if they're over 50 or at risk for osteoporosis. But always check with your doctor before starting supplements, especially if you take blood thinners. In summary, think of calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin K2 as a bone-building trio. Calcium is the brick, D is the worker who picks it up, and K2 is the foreman who tells it where to go. Coming up next, the habits, exercises, and lifestyle shifts that help this trio work together, and why your bones may depend just as much on movement as on minerals. Why movement matters more than you think. When we think about bone health, most people go straight to nutrition: calcium, vitamin D, supplements. But what if the real key to stronger bones isn't just in your kitchen? It's also in your daily movement. Here's the truth. Bones are living tissue. They respond to stress, not emotional stress, but physical load. When you move your body, especially in ways that involve resistance or impact, you send a signal to your bones: stay strong. We still need you. Without that signal, bones begin to weaken, even if your diet is perfect. This is especially important for older adults. After age 50, people who are sedentary can lose up to 1 to 3% of their bone mass each year. But with the right movement, you can slow, stop, or even reverse that loss. So what types of exercise actually help build bone? Dr. Andrew Weil and many orthopedists recommend what's called weight-bearing exercise. These are activities where your body works against gravity and supports its own weight. For example, brisk walking, just 30 minutes a day, can improve hip and spine density. Climbing stairs, excellent for leg strength and bone pressure. Dancing or light jogging adds small impacts that bones love. Resistance training. Lifting light weights or using resistance bands strengthens both bones and muscles. Tai Chi or yoga improves balance and coordination, which reduces fall risk, a leading cause of fractures in older adults. It's not just about strength, it's about protection. Better balance means fewer falls, and fewer falls mean fewer broken hips, wrists, or spines. Here's a powerful example. In a study of older women who began a simple resistance training program just twice a week, researchers found a significant increase in bone density within 12 months, even though their calcium intake stayed the same. The movement made the difference. Now, let's talk about lifestyle habits that can quietly sabotage your bones. High sodium diets. Too much salt pulls calcium out of bones and into urine. Sugary soft drinks, phosphoric acid in colas can upset calcium balance. Smoking reduces blood supply to bones and lowers estrogen levels. Excessive alcohol disrupts calcium absorption and hormone balance. Sitting too long. Lack of movement signals your bones that they're not needed. The takeaway is simple. What you do with your body each day matters just as much as what you eat. Bone strength isn't just about nutrients. It's about activity, posture, balance, and consistency. So whether it's walking with a friend, stretching each morning, or climbing stairs instead of using the elevator, every step is a message to your skeleton. Stay strong. I still need you. Coming up next, we'll tie it all together with one final reflection on how to create a daily rhythm that feeds, moves, and protects your bones naturally. Your natural path to stronger bones. Let's pause for a moment and think about everything we've just uncovered. You now know that bone strength isn't about one magic pill or one isolated nutrient. It's about creating the right environment through food, movement, sunlight, and habits for your bones to stay alive and responsive, even as you age. Dr. Andrew Weil's approach reminds us that the body works as a system. When we support that system naturally, the results can be both powerful and lasting. So here's a quick recap of your natural osteoporosis fighting toolkit. 1. Eat smart calcium, not synthetic pills. Reach for sardines, canned salmon, and other fish with edible bones. Add dark leafy greens like kale and collards. Choose tofu made with calcium sulfate, and enjoy calcium-fortified soy milk. These foods bring not only calcium, but also the supporting nutrients your bones truly need. 2. Remember the key vitamins, D and K2. Get safe. Regular sun exposure. Include foods like egg yolks, fermented soy natto, and cheeses in moderation. If you're over 50, talk to your doctor about testing your vitamin D and K2 levels. You may benefit from a high-quality supplement. 3. Move like your bones depend on it, because they do. Walking, dancing, lifting light weights, stretching. These are not just for heart health or muscle tone. They stimulate your bones to grow denser and stronger. Even 20-30 minutes a day can change the course of your bone health long-term. 4. Watch out for silent bone enemies. Salt, sugar, alcohol, smoking, and inactivity can undo all your good efforts. Replace sodas with water. Limit processed snacks. Take movement breaks if you sit a lot during the day. Your bones will thank you. 5. Think holistic, not heroic. You don't have to change everything overnight, but small, consistent shifts in what you eat, how you move, and what you expose your body to each day can have a profound effect over time. As Dr. Will often says, The best medicine is often found not in a bottle, but in your grocery bag, your backyard, and your daily choices. So here's your call to action. Take a fresh look at your fridge and pantry. What's feeding your bones? Reconsider your daily routine. How often do you move with purpose? Talk to your loved ones, especially those over 50, about real bone health, not just supplements, but a smarter, safer, more natural plan. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs it. Your parents, your grandparents, a neighbor, a friend. The information could be the difference between a fracture and freedom, because strong bones don't just keep you upright. They keep you living the life you love.